not really studied the Quran in depth, and neither have they studied the life of the Prophet. And had they done so, then things would obviously be a lot better. And for the gentleman that says that the Muslims speak about Jesus and say things, but you see, the Muslims are not saying something by themselves. They're only saying what is in the Quran. Because you see, the Quran has basically declared that Jesus was not killed. You see, so neither is he a son. So the Muslims are only saying what is in the Quran. And I'll give you an example as to why this is stated. You see, like, imagine you go to the hospital and your wife has just given birth. And when you go to the hospital, they bring to your pig and say, "This is your son." Would you accept that? No, you would be totally inflamed. And this is the sort of statement that God has made within the Quran to say, look, whoever is saying that I have a son, this is the sort of situation. It's like when they make that statement, is that they're defaming me in such a way that they're bringing me to a level lower than, because it is not possible. It's not within the realms of my being that I can have a son. So the Muslims are only trying to explain, and I wish that people would sit down and try to understand all these things rather than just jump up and down.
I'm with you on that. As you can imagine. Akram, thank you for taking some time to spend with us, and I hope we're all up to speed on that now. Yes? Great. Okay. My number's 08704 20 20 20. Graham in Woking says, "Dear Sir Mike, our armed forces went to Iraq and Afghanistan. It was time to keep peace and preserve life and not a religious issue. It seems to me the Muslims believe we're attacking their religion, and this is not the case. Extremists are trying to start a holy war, and I feel we're all going to get dragged into it. Great show. Sorry you're going to go tomorrow, but at least we'll get some sleep at last." Thanks very much. Backhanded compliment. Action Man, says Tony, was brought back in about 10 years ago. It was a lot less militaristic and more James Bond. It's still going. Yes, but did you have one? Did you have an Action Man? 08704 20 20 20. Chris in Glasgow, this is Thoughts and Below the Belt here, said, "Hi Mike, it was interesting to hear you speak about our classic children's toy Action Man. I wonder if the new version will have genitals." I couldn't possibly comment. Imran, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks very much. Just had a very nice chat with Akram.
With Akram?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm listening to that, Mike. Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah. And,
what are we talking about today, my friend?
Yeah, it was just about the Pope Benedict's the comments that he made.
Yeah.
And I think, in my opinion, when you're such an important figurehead, and you know that, obviously the times that we're living in at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be very careful as to what you say. If he was talking about things, right across the board, I would have said fair enough. But I don't think he did that. He didn't mention anything about the Crusades or the Spanish Inquisition. And I think, to target the Islamic religion and the Prophet Muhammad, I think was ill-advised. Because I think...
Well, were you listening when I was on last, which was not yesterday, it was Saturday night?
No, I wasn't there.
And I said, I do believe we should see the Pope as a politician, because he's got a huge church around the world.
Yeah.
And he must be aware of the significance of what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree, because I think... the people that obviously his advisors and things like that.
Well, they would have read that. They would have read that speech, and they would have checked it just to make sure that everything was up to speed. That nobody was insulted because they misspelt the name or mispronounced it. So I just feel a little bit surprised. There we are. I'm saying no more than that, but I just feel a bit surprised.
Yeah, I think obviously a lot of people are, but I think for people to come out and to maybe, target Muslim people and I think it's a little bit unfair in my opinion, because, we've had people like George Bush come out with comments like Islamic fascism and things like that. And, I don't think it really tells the truth.
I don't think we can be a bit hard on George, because, he's having a bit of trouble, isn't he? You know, he's not making the old grey cells work anymore. But it's good to talk to you, and thanks for the call, Imran. Thank you very much indeed. Crocodiles, big cats and wolves. It's a jungle in the countryside, and all these animals are appearing in our countryside. Have you seen any? The Beast of Bodmin on Bodmin Moor sparked public interest in big cat sightings. People say you should approach wild animals, whereas others say depends on the animal. And if you go up to a big cat, it's best if you open your coat, and you'll increase your size in the animal's eyes and arguably frighten it away. And if it doesn't work, sorry about that. You're listening to talkSPORT on 1053, 1089. My number's 08704 20 20 20. 08704 20 20 20. Hello, Nick, live from Preston.
Hello, Mike.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad considering what I've been through the past 24 hours. Just before I get to my point, what was that about you leaving tomorrow? Are you leaving the radio station?
Yeah, well, I haven't got any more dates booked, so...
You moving on, are you?
Well, got to feed the beast, haven't you?
You sure have. Right, okay, it's a call that you had maybe 4 or 5 calls back, referring to the police prioritising certain things, yeah? I couldn't resist but to call in and give you my example of something that went wrong for me.
Prioritise? I can't remember what it was.
Are you gonna turn up for a shoplifter or a £20,000 robbery?
Yes, that's right. It's the traders, the British traders have been surveyed, and they say the police seem to be ignoring shoplifting. Yes, that's right. That's what it was about.
Right, okay. Can I get to my point then?
Oh, I would.
Okay. I was assaulted the other day. Assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
I reported the crime. I rang the police on a local police number. And I was told they'll be with you inside 3 or 4 hours for you to make your statement regarding the assault. So I said, okay, fair enough. So I sat down, you know, twiddling my thumbs, waiting for them to come round. They didn't show. So I rang the same number again. I was told the same thing. They'll be there inside 3 or 4 hours. We're extremely busy at the moment, but we'll be there in 3 or 4 hours. I won't tell you the town that this happened in, and I won't give no names or anything like that.
Okay.
Anyway, once again, they didn't show. By now, I was getting a little bit upset because I'd been assaulted. Let's not forget.
Yeah, sure.
So I rang the same number yet again, and once again, I was told the same thing. They'll be there inside 3 or 4 hours. We're extremely busy at the moment, but we will get to you. So I'm thinking, okay, fine. By now, I've imbibed 1 or 2, you know what I mean? They show up. Well, no, they didn't show up, actually. I then lost my rag and rang 999. And I made up a story that my father was collapsed. My father had collapsed, and could you please get an officer around? Guess what happened inside 5 minutes? The police showed.
Yeah.
Not only did the police show, the ambulance showed. 2 paramedics. I immediately apologised to the 2 paramedics and said, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for wasting your time, but all I wanted was a copper to come and take my statement about the assault. Anyway, once we'd sorted this one out, we'd spoken about it, you know, and they let me off. They went on their merry way, and I carried on waiting. The officer said to me at the time before he left, he said, hey, listen, don't worry about it. We'll have someone round by 12 o'clock tomorrow lunchtime. I said, okay, thank you very much. They let me off, no charge, no nothing. I thought, oh, great. We're going to see a copper by lunchtime tomorrow, and they're going to take my statement. Let's not forget, I was assaulted. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. They never showed by 12 o'clock the following morning. So what did I do? I rang the local police station. Yet again, I was told they'll be round inside 3 or 4 hours. We're extremely busy. I said, hang on a minute. This isn't football day. The local football team are not playing at home today. So I can understand that you're taking your time to send an officer around, but what if the local football team were playing at home? Then you'd be even more busy, wouldn't you? You'd have less resources. And they said, yes. They'll be round in 3 or 4 hours. Guess what I did? Like a mug. I'd imbibed a bit more by then.
Oh, no.
I rang 999 again. And I made up a story that my father had collapsed. Guess what? They showed up in 5 minutes. And do you know what? It took me away. Wasting police time. There's no charge, and there's not likely to be, is there? Because they'll look extremely embarrassed, won't they? I'll say no more. What do you say?
Yeah, it's just a perverse situation. You know, you give them a call on one line and they say, oh yes, so sorry, we've got 2 or 3 hour wait. And you go and, as you did twice, and prove that, you know the number to the 4-minute service line, or the 10-minute service line. It was so irritating. Major irritation.
Now then, wasting police time is a pretty serious charge, isn't it?
Well, I think it's somewhat of a movable feast,
That's exactly what I said when they took me in there. I walked, there's no charge. But it just about sums up the police force of today, doesn't it?
I wonder what was keeping them so busy.
Exactly. So where are you moving on to then?
Oh, I don't know yet, love. I mean, anyway, I couldn't tell you here.
Okay.
Because, it would betray a confidence, because I wouldn't want it if it were my radio station. I wouldn't do it. But I shall miss you. Wish you well. Hello, Sean.
Hello.
Hello, Sean, on the M6.
I am, yeah.
Top man.
I'm just phoning up, a couple of points, one about the action man, but later on. But I've been listening all night about this continual, let's say, tete-a-tete about the Muslim and Christian, broad brush religions, different religions.
Yeah.
I was brought up a Roman Catholic.
Okay.
From an Irish background, joined the army at 16 years old, saw a lot of what goes on in the world, and the only thing that did to my religion was make me think, what a load of nonsense. How can one be more than the other? And in this day and age, 21st century, where the world is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, space travel, etc., how can we still be arguing and fighting over something as stupid as who's right or who's wrong? Surely the Quran, the Bible, whatever, all they are is a guideline for living. And when it boils down to its bare bones, is treat each other well. Just, get on with each other. And I just find it amazing in this day and age where we're supposed to be educated that people can still manipulate the masses into hating each other and to go to war over something stupid.
Yeah, it is hard to believe, isn't it? It's hard to believe. It's even harder to believe now than it was, I don't know, 1,000 years ago.
Exactly. And I don't know, I mean, as I say, I'm not a practicing Catholic anymore, and my two sons are in, sort of say, Catholic schools for the education reasons. But when they mention that someone's attacked with Catholicism, and I pull them up and say, look, you're no different. They're exactly the same. Everyone's the same. Do not think you're any better or any more special because somebody tells you that. An education authority or a religion tells you you're better than somebody else.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, there's no one would argue with you the logic, but there's a strange thing about human beings. They do stuff which is illogical. They go off the chart.
Definitely. I mean, I say that, and I'm still serving at the minute, and you can have a few beers in the bar, and the points of or the topics of conversation that still stimulate is religion and politics. And that's with people who've lived together, breathe together, fight together, cry, laugh together. And one comment can just trigger it. And not to fight, but to defend yourself.
Yes.
Oh no, C of E's better than this, or Catholics are better because of this. And it's amazing. But I just think these leaders of the religions need to sit back and say, look, what are we doing? Get our heads together. Let's get on with it. And it's just and it's when people speak about the opposition or the opposites, whether it be a Muslim, Christian, they refer to them as they, as if they're some subhuman. They don't understand. They do it different to us. And I just find it amazing. I'm not the most educated person in the world, but my life experiences have made me realise that what you get dragged through as a child and the fear of, should I use the word, fear of God put into you. If you don't do this way, if you don't believe this, then you're damned. And you sit there and you go, what a load of nonsense.
Well, yeah, but, as I said to Sean, people believe in the wildest things, and even those who don't believe in the Christian message buy Christmas trees, Why did they do that? Well, I don't know. They just seem like a good idea at the time. 08704 20 20 20. 08704 20 20 20. Or you can text me. Yeah, be prepared to put an extra 50p on. It's 81089. Or you can email talksport.net. How easy can it be? There we are. Jeremy's in Enfield. Hello, Jeremy.
It's Jamie, actually.
Is it? Not round here, it's not.
Never mind.
It's Jamie, is it? I'm just writing it down. Because you're definitely Jeremy here.
Oh, that's all right. I'll be a Jeremy. I don't care.
No,
I don't
all right.
really mind what anybody calls me, mate, as long as it's not too early in the morning.
No, that's not too bad at all. So what are we talking about? The Pope, is it?
Well, yeah, I'd like to take on this one. I just seem to recall a couple of months ago, it's not that long back, there was, over in Pakistan, with Musharraf, was the Pope, along with most of the world leaders, pleading for a chap's life there, who was about to have his head separated from his body, and his only crime was that he changed from being Islamic to a Christian, and under Sharia law. That's not allowed, apparently. So, but that's not spreading Islam by the sword, then what is?
Yes. Yes, no, I was just...
way of persuading people to stay in the religion.
Yeah, I was just trying to think. Was it about a year ago?
I don't know, yeah, but I mean, I didn't even hear whether he did have his head chopped off or whether he was let free.
Oh, if anyone can recall...
I sincerely hope that he was set free, but it was a little while back now, but...
If anyone can recall that and what the outcome was, now's the time. 08704 20 20 20.
It's not that long ago. I was born a Catholic, and the Pope makes all these edicts every year, but I mean, I don't think I've been to church for a long while, and as far as I'm concerned, I think I'm in the majority of Catholics. We take what he says with a pinch of salt and get on with life.
Yeah,
most Catholics should do that in this day and age. I don't think that it's the be-all and everything. And as for the church, my own church, and any church, I think Jesus, as far as I know, from what I can remember from my school days, he never ever preached in the church. He preached in the open, so that's the creation of man himself. And I think that the Catholic Church does a pretty good living out of it, has his own bank, the Pope has his own army. The Church of England's one of the richest landowners in the country, so,
Yeah. I was thinking the only, I mean, I don't speak with any great authority, but the only temple appearance, I think, with Jesus Christ was chasing the money lenders out of the temple, wasn't it?
That's right, when he chased them out of the old synagogue, wasn't it, or whatever?
Yeah.
And the other thing is that...
if he were in the synagogue, then he would probably...
He was a Jew.
Yes, he was a Jew.
He was a Nazarene Jew.
Yeah. I had a woman on the programme talking about...
those things.
Yes, I had a woman on the programme talking about religious matters years ago, and I said, you must never forget, of course, that Jesus Christ was Jewish. And she said, don't be ridiculous. But he was.
I know. It's absolutely true. You do get it, don't you? There's one thing you do deny. Yeah.
But and chances are, for him to have been in the temple, he would be a rabbi. He would have been a rabbi.
A rabbi, wasn't he?
And because of that, he would have been married.
Yes, it's possible. I'm not... this sort of like, I mean, we have programs in this country about Jesus Christ Superstar, and the old song that went around a few years ago, Walks Like a Woman, Wears a Bra or something, wasn't it? When it came out of that superstars thing.
Yeah, as long as it rhymes,
all
it's got to be
used
good.
To sing it around and everything. I mean, what is right? I think what happened is that in the last 50, 100 years, I think Christianity grew up because we still got all the same things that they've got in the Quran, in the Bible, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and you know, if somebody's not adulterous, you stone them to death, and all the rest of it. That still exists in the Bible, but we've grown up and grown out of it. And I'd be quite honest, I think that this time that Islam did the same.
Well, it's a younger religion, of course, and it's a younger release system, and did I say belief or relief? No, belief. That wasn't meant to be funny. That wasn't meant to be funny. It was me. You know, I'm trying to do two things at once. Neither of them well, Jamie.
No, but can I just say, Mike, it's been a pleasure listening to you.
Oh, there we are. That's laid it down. That's very kind of you, but you know, I'd like you to keep listening here because I think they're nice people.
Well, yes, they are, and I do enjoy Mike and those, and I've enjoyed your program, as I'm sure a lot of people have.
Oh.
And they've said so tonight, that whether management up there takes any heed or not, well, that's up to the powers that be, isn't it?
That's always true. That's always true. Take care, Jamie.
I do. Take care, Mike. See you again sometime, mate. Bye-bye now.
Take care. Bye-bye. What's the time? I just put my leather jacket, John, on that chair over there. You see, the other side of the studio, here, just there. And out the corner of my eye, when I'm looking at the screen, it looks like there's somebody sitting there, and it just keeps catching me. Looks across. See if there's anyone in it. Not strange at all. Abdullah, hello.
Oh, hello, Mike.
How are you doing?
I'm a first-time caller.
How are you doing?
As my name suggests, you probably think I'm one of those Muslim, as you call them. I am a secular person, although I come from actually a religious Muslim family.
Yeah.
I came to this country about 26 years ago.
How old were you then? What?
I'm in my late 50s.
Are you really?
Yeah, I may not sound it, but I am.
You know, you sound reassuringly young.
Oh, thank you. I take that as a compliment.
It was meant to be. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so when I came here as a student, I was really fascinated by the British sense of humour, tolerance, courtesy, and throughout the years, I'm sad to see that beginning to fade. That is really not the point I'm going to talk about. It's just an introduction. The point I want to talk about is what actually the headlines and all the radio stations all over the place talking about it, what the Pope said. I am of the opinion that what the Pope said, my understanding, I am entitled to my own interpretation of what I hear.
Yeah, sure.
I happen to have postgraduate studies in law, and so I have a mind that can see things and analyze them the way I understand them. I think the Pope, what he said, was basically to trigger a serious debate between the two major religions of the world. I did not feel offended in any way whatsoever. I am not here to defend Muhammad or defend Islam, or defend God. If God Almighty is able to defend himself, not able to defend himself, we as a human weak beings, how can we come and defend this Almighty God? So the Pope was trying to really drop something serious and to create and to start serious debate. Now, the Muslims throughout the world are made up of so many nations, so many races, and I am a little bit disappointed to hear that they put everybody in the same bag. There are Muslims who do not actually, as you know probably, there are Sunnis, there are Shiites, there are the
Sufis,
the Abadites, there are the Sufis. There are all sorts of sects in Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have seen, the reaction is coming from these extremists, as we call them. It's not the reflection of the whole sort of Islamic nation. It's just a minority, as one of them called it, so they're probably 1%.
Abdullah, I've got about 45 seconds, and then it's the news jingle. So I'm just saying that because if you're still talking when it comes on,
right,
it's not me chasing you out of town. It's just
all I want to say is I hope that in this country people will not lose their heads, will just continue trying to understand what these people are trying to say and engage into a proper debate and peaceful debate, and not trigger this madness that is some of these Muslims are doing at the moment. I do not agree with any of those types of reactions at all. I did not feel offended. I read Salman Rushdie's the Satanic Verses. I did not find it in any way offending. I find it actually quite funny. So I hope that there will come the day, as the gentleman earlier said, that is only time to grow up. They will grow up. There will come a day when the Muslims also become a little bit open-minded and tolerant and that sort of thing. It will come a day. It's just a question of time. So that's why the West need to be a little bit more tolerant with them and trying to understand these people, and they are growing up.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks very much indeed. Had some interesting calls this morning, actually, and we've got time for some more. We've got to be doing a little bit of politicking after the news, and then we might even talk about collecting sound from around the world. I'll just tell you more about that later on, actually, because it's not that it's outrageous, it's just it's a bit involved and requires a bit more time than I'm able to halo it with at the moment. Anyway, if you're going to bed now, I wish you well. We're going to be talking to Adam after the news. If you want to be part of it, it's 08 704 20 20 20. 08 704 20 20 20. Or you can text me on 81089 or email talksport.net. I'm Mike Allen. After the news, I shall continue to be Mike Allen, but I shall be about 3 minutes older. Thank you.
On 1089 and 1053 AM. Talk Sport.
Cash incentives are being offered to local Liberal Democrat parties who recruit women and people from ethnic minorities. Delegates are being asked to ensure that making the Lib Dem more representative is one of the party's core priorities, alongside proportional representation in elections. So we thought it would be interesting to talk to Stephen Williams, who's the Lib Dem spokesman for higher education and MP for Bristol West. Good evening. I know it's late, but thank you for taking some time out to be with us.
That's a pleasure.
Can you confirm whether the party is being given cash for the specific task of recruiting women and people from ethnic minorities?
Well, it's certainly very important that all political parties, not just the Liberal Democrats, represent in Parliament the face of 21st century British society. And all three parties have a major problem with this. We don't have enough people from the full ethnic diversity that this country currently has. Certainly the Liberal Democrats and the Conservatives don't have enough women MPs. There aren't many openly gay MPs amongst the parties either. So there are big issues to be addressed before Parliament can truly be a mirror of Britain.
There are those who might say it's a meritocracy, and those who don't come up to the stump are only half democratised, for want of a better word. Does it not smack of a two-tier system?
Well, people go through lots of barriers in order to become a parliamentary candidate and then an MP. And curiously, it's not the electorate as such that are a problem in a general election. It's as much the party's own selection procedures to make sure that everyone gets a fair and equal chance, and some people need to be helped and encouraged to put themselves forward. For instance, within the Liberal Democrats, not enough women are currently on our candidates list. We have a list of people who are suitable to stand for public office, but not enough women currently put themselves forward. So we need to do far more to make sure that the very talented women that there undoubtedly are within the Liberal Democrats put themselves forward through the process to get onto our list so they can apply for selection in our most winnable seats.
How is this policy, how does it differ to David Cameron's much maligned A-list policy?
Well, the big difference is is that we haven't got a special list for special people, if you like. David Cameron's has got his A-list, which of course has a lot of men on it. It's not just for women and underrepresented groups. It just seems to be a list of the people David Cameron wants to get into Parliament, and some of them, of course, are his friends and high donors. So it's not about diversity there. For us, it's just about encouraging talented people, whether they are women, or whether they're from ethnic minorities, or whether they're gay, to put themselves forward and to make sure the party does everything we can to help them realise their potential. Because I want to sit in a parliamentary party in the House of Commons that when I look around me, I'm reminded of the city that I represent, Bristol, in Parliament, rather than a rather narrower section of society.
Mm. You mentioned David Cameron's A-list, and you mentioned contributors who would benefit from attention.
Some of his wealthy friends on there. I mean, Zach Goldsmith, I think, would be the ultimate example, or the Coronation Street actor Adam Rickett, ex-Coronation Street actor Adam Rickett. Mm-hmm. They both come from white middle class, actually upper class, wealthy backgrounds, multi-millionaire backgrounds. In the case of Zach Goldsmith, so these are not people who are underrepresented in Parliament at the moment. So Cameron's A-list appears to be more about getting the sort of people he wants in Parliament rather than people who are currently underrepresented.
Can I ask you about your party, please? Simon Hughes has decided not to support Ming Campbell's tax initiative, and he also seems very keen to see a change in the London mayor, because he sees a middle-aged man and white. So this starts to sound a little bit uneasy times, and then I read that the return of the former leader to the conference could well present us with a high noon moment.
Well, Ming Campbell has actually said that it will not be a high noon moment for him when the party votes on our tax package on Tuesday morning. The tax package has been put forward. I had a hand in drafting. It is the most radical tax package put forward by any British political party, and I'm sure that when our conference representatives listen to the debate, they will want to put forward that package at the next general election unamended. It's
been very good to talk to you. Thank you very much for staying off the white wine.
It's been difficult on this line.
No, don't worry. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm Mike Allen. This is talkSPORT. We just listened to Stephen Williams, Lib Dem spokesman for higher education and the MP for Bristol West. talkSPORT. More in just a moment.
talkSPORT. The radio station where men are men and sheep can sure run fast.
Oi, Vicky!
Award-winning radio for full-blooded blokes across the UK on 1089 and 1053 AM.
Dirty.
And the technological miracle that is DAB